Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tom over at TFCIV MMA, and as you guys can see, we got a special guest. We got the former Strikeforce World Champ, Jake Shields. How you doing, Jake?
Hey man, doing good. Just busy day. I've been traveling, got back, woke up, had tons of emails, did a couple interviews. I was like, oh, I'm slammed. I got the kind of work where some days have nothing going on, other days tons of stuff pop up. But overall, everything's great, man. Been can't complain with life.
Perfect, man. We love to hear that. I know you're a busy man with the coaching and all that kind of good
Yep.
stuff, but you've been in the media an awful lot lately. Little incident at the PI last week. I was going through YouTube yesterday. I saw MMA
Yep.
Junkie gave Mike Jackson a 40-minute interview. I said, come on now, we got to let Jake, he's the legend here. I want to hear his side of the story on this one.
Yeah, I mean that interview was ridiculous. I didn't watch the whole thing. I was watching pieces of it. Overall, I think he just made himself look completely embarrassing. I think you can watch the interview and you're going to be like, come on, man, Mike Jown, you see what a racist scumbag he is. I was a little critical of it, though. I actually went and criticized the guy that interviewed him for not questioning him when he was calling me a Nazi. But to be fair, I DM'd the guy, not the nice, not the meanest, not the nicest DM, being like, what kind of journalism is this? And to be fair, he got back to me, and actually I just interviewed with him. He's like, oh, my journalism style, I thought people talk. I'm like, okay, I mean, but I still think you should, if someone calls him a Nazi, you should explain a little bit, because not, do you mean like he wants to kill Jews, disabled people, Jehovah's Witnesses, or do you mean like he has an uncle that voted for Trump? It's like,
and that's the issue I think that social media has done, is they've made it so commonplace to where people can call you that without repercussion. And that's a serious term to be thrown around, in my opinion, at least, because it's very degrading to your character.
I 100% agree. I gave the analogy to if you call a Muslim a terrorist, if you call one Muslim a terrorist, I'm going to slap that person. If you call one of my black friends the N-word or a coon, I'm going to slap that person. So why is it any difference if you call a white person a Nazi? It's a very similar thing. We act like, oh, it's okay if you say things to white people. I disagree. I'm not going to be disrespected because I'm white. I'm not going to let anyone disrespect my friends either. One thing I'm not is a racist. And I've been involved in MMA and jiu-jitsu for over 20 years. And you'll not hear one person in the industry that's ever met me accuse me of being racist. So this guy to jump in and make these claims, he deserves to get slapped. And I slapped him.
I think the perfect example, too, is after the incident, I did not see a single MMA person on his side. I saw several people actually make posts, several people of color make posts to support you.
Yeah, that shows how unaware he is. He's sitting there calling me a Nazi, and then a black guy gets beat up by a white guy, and then everyone in the sport, including all the black guys, literally every single fighter I've seen post took my side. I haven't seen one single person take his side. His own coaches took my side. How are you that unaware? And he said something actually really insulted me in the interview. My friend Dewey Cooper, who's a black man, he says Dewey should have been on his side instead of my side, who's his friend, because he's black. Like, how freaking racist is that? It's just basically called my friend Dewey a race traitor, and that really upset me. I think it's disgusting to think that way. Especially because another weird part is this guy Mike is 3/4 white, one quarter black. So it's just weird, like fake racism, hating his own self. It's just weird, nasty ideology that's just not okay. We need to not accept it. And for the most part, people are completely mocking him and ridiculing him, other than maybe the mainstream media. The mainstream media are the people that push this narrative, but regular people hate it. They're sick of this racism. They don't like racism on either side. We hate racists. So to call me a racist is, you deserve to get slapped. I despise these people. Most people despise racism. Out of 20 years in MMA, this is the first time I've ever ran into a racist. There is I'm not going to say no, but there is very, very little racism is in MMA jiu-jitsu. And the black people will tell you the same, the Mexicans, it doesn't matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter how much money you make. There'll be a janitor training alongside a CEO of a billion-dollar company, and they're 100% equal. That's why people love MMA and jiu-jitsu, because we're 100% equal on the mats.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So I tried watching the interview, and I mean, I had to turn it off after 5 minutes, whether it was the shirt he was wearing, just the guy. You see it on Twitter, calling people snow roaches, and he's not a pleasant guy. I mean, we all saw the video you posted. Can you kind of walk us through the events that led up to that, though?
Yeah, he had called me I out of nowhere, he popped in one of my tweets calling me a Nazi. And I can't remember what I was tweeting, but it had nothing to do with race, nothing. It was just a random tweet, nothing to do with like Trump. I know people like call Trump supporters Nazi, which I think is insane. I'm personally not like a big Trump supporter. I like him better than Biden. But so if I like him better, I did vote for Trump. I don't really like him, but I guess that makes me a Nazi because I voted for him, so I liked him better than Biden. But I can't remember exactly why he called me Nazi, but like I don't take that lightly. Normally I just would have blocked him, but I looked at his profile and he was a pro fighter. I'd never heard of him, but I'm like, I'm not going to let someone in my industry call me that. So I go to him like, man, you better take this back or it's on site when I see you. And he goes, your white tears won't do nothing. Your white fragility. And then I go, all right, on site when I see you. I'm a man of my word. You know, I saw him at PI. So it's like, it was on. I went after him. I tried to get him to go in the cage with me so we could fight like two men. We both fight the same weight class. I'm retired. He's a current pro at my weight class. He refused to get in the cage with me. You know, then he called me Nazi. So I walked over, picked him up. He felt like a little child, threw him on the ground, got mount. He started begging for help. You can hear it in the video. Help, someone please get him off me. Please get him off me. And then, I got mount and slapped him in the face a couple times. And, I made sure not to hit him because one, for him to sue me. And also he's not even worthy of my punch. You slap bitches. So I just slapped him like the little bitch he was.
That's the first thing that came to my mind is I don't know if you remember the old HBO series Entourage, but there's a scene where he slaps someone. He says a bitch slap for a bitch. And that's the first thing I thought of, man, when I saw it.
That was exactly why. Like, he's not even worthy of my punch. He's such a bitch. He's only worthy of my slaps. And, he's lucky I'm older in life where I'm calmed down, don't want to go to jail because, an old me might have found that guy and hurt him. He's running his mouth trying to act like he's some street thug, black power gang. He ain't got no real black power gang behind him. Those guys would laugh at him and mock him too. And he's trying to act this thug life. And he's going to run into someone that's going to hurt him if he's not careful. Someone's going to hurt him real bad. What if he stumbles across a real Nazi talking like that? They're going to kill him.
Well, that was the first thing I thought of with on site is maybe you say that to some fighters like you, the Diaz brothers, the whole Scrap Pack. You guys have a reputation for that kind of stuff. So it kind of caught me off guard when he was saying that kind of stuff to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also I believe a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it, regardless of what it is. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. So he said we're fighting on site. I said we're fighting on site. That means we're fighting on site. I don't know why he was like surprised, just because he's a little bitch and doesn't keep his word. But he's just such a pathetic person. So it's kind of nice seeing the reaction that like about 3% of people has his side, and those are just the woke Antifa. Maybe his college professors are calling him, being like, "Are you okay?" But like everyone else is completely mocking him, ridiculing him. This story went insanely viral despite no mainstream media, because there's the only people taking his side. But everywhere between Twitter, all my friends that aren't on Twitter hit me up. So I know the story. Somehow managed to go everywhere with this guy. That shows how unlikable he is.
Well, I mentioned that I may be interviewing today to a friend that doesn't even watch MMA. And he said, Jake Shields, is that the guy that slapped the dude for calling him a Nazi? So that's how this story's going viral far past the MMA world. My next question for you also was, I know there's been rumors of pressing charges. Have you heard anything from him on that front?
He's saying he's in press charges. I haven't had any paperwork filed or anything yet. I have talked to my attorney. We have a defamation case ready to go. If he files it, I'll file mine. I'm not the kind of person that likes dealing with lawsuits. It's not my style, but I will. I have a very, very serious defamation case. I think I'll win it. He actually got Pat Miletich fired from his old job by calling him a Nazi and stuff. So him calling me a Nazi and white nationalist, he could potentially cost me millions of dollars by losing jobs. So if he wants to play that game, I'll hit him back.
I love it, man. I love it.
Could you imagine any jury siding with this guy? They're going to see him. He's just going to talk himself. Racism, Nazi, blah, blah. He slapped me, his white fragility and white tears. Unless he has, maybe a few liberal white women on my side, but everyone else is going to be like, this guy is disgusting.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I also saw a rumor that you had been banned from the UFC PI. Any truth to that?
Yeah, I left that day. I haven't talked to him back to PI, so I think that's him just making stuff up. I mean, I shouldn't have gotten a fight there, but I can't really see that being a long-term ban. I just need to talk to them. Like I said, I'm a man of my word. I'll let them know I won't do it again. I told them I was on site. I'll tell them I won't fight anyone to PI again. I do what I say I'm going to do. So
I love it, man. I love it. But yeah, crazy scenario, but glad you're doing okay. Like I said, everyone's siding with you on this. So I'm very very, very glad for you to take a couple minutes, talk things over with me. Like I said, we had only really heard from him, so kind of wanted to hear your side of the story. And before we conclude here, any messages out there for all the Jake Shields fans?
No, man, thanks for all the support throughout the years. I don't think I really have to say much. Everyone knows I'm not a racist, so I don't need to go blah, blah, pretend, say a bunch of bullshit about me not being racist, because it's just, it's known, you know, people see who I roll with. I was there with all Black and Middle Eastern people taking my side. I roll with, I don't even think about this stuff. Like I never even think, everyone's always like, oh, Jake trained with all Mexicans. I didn't even look at it that way. They were just my brothers. I don't view it as, oh, these are my Mexican friends, these are my Black friends, these are Middle Eastern friends. They're just my brothers. We're all brotherhoods, love each other. That's what I love so much about martial arts, mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu. People listening to this that don't train jiu-jitsu, man, you should get in there. It's a true brotherhood of like I can go, obviously I have a little advantage being, you know, a famous jiu-jitsu guy, but it's the same for all. Everyone gets treated the same. I can go anywhere in the world and walk in all the time. I'm the only white guy. They bring a complete brother, you know. Sometimes they don't even speak English. They bring, you know, they're hugging me, bringing me in like, oh yeah, jiu-jitsu guy, you know, we're all brothers on the mats.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking a couple minutes and talking to me as a longtime fan. I really appreciate it. And I wish you all the best with your coaching career in the future, my man.
Yeah, thank you. I have some great fighters to look out for. So you'll definitely be seeing me coaching. So
Yes,
hey,
sir.
have a good one, man.
You too. Thanks.